For years, boxing fans have asked the same question. Just how good is Jaron "Boots" Ennis?
He's a good fighter, but I don't think he's a great fighter. He's never been uncomfortable. He's always had it his way. He's always, had fighters that put up a little bit of a fight and then they quit. When you have a young champion that is willing to risk everything to go in there, I'm going to rip his heart out. I'm going to take him to somewhere he's never been.
He said he's going to rip your heart out.
Oh, yeah.
That's it?
Oh, that's good.
He said, didn't he?
That's what he said.
Yeah, he said it.
You believe that?
This is a fight that is everything that you want to see in boxing. A 23-year-old champion coming off back-to-back world title fights and demanding to face the best in the division.
Actually sitting here still in shock that this fight is made. And I have to give unbelievable credit to Xander Zayas. But you must have a massive set of cojones, because what you're about to take part in June 27th is one of the toughest tasks in boxing.
For the much avoided Boots Ennis, a chance to silence the doubters and take his rightful place on the pound-for-pound list.
You think he take this fight too early in his career?
He already signed it down the line. It's over with now. It's fight time now, baby.
For the young and talented Xander Zayas, a chance to step up and show the boxing world that no mountain is too high to climb.
I wasn't born to be average. I was born to make history. I was born to keep writing history. I've been writing it since the day I was born, and this is no exception.
It's time.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Let's take a look at Boots versus Zayas.
I really wanted to see Boots tested by another fighter beforehand. I wanted to see him fight Virgil Ortiz first, because those two guys were kind of on a collision course. However, I think Golden Boy and Virgil Ortiz had some issues. So now Boots went to the next best thing, which is even better than Virgil Ortiz. He went to Xander Zayas.
Oh! Look at Xander Zayas! First round knockdown!
He's a very good fighter, a complete fighter. He can do so many things. He can fight inside. He can fight outside. He's a great body puncher. And because he couldn't get A, he went to B. And I like that about Boots, because Boots saying, I want all the smoke. If this one won't take me, I'll go find the next one.
There was a time when many believed Jaron Ennis was on a collision course with Terence Crawford. It was the fight fans wanted to see. But as we all know, boxing doesn't always give the fans the matchups they ask for.
Terence bought Crawford fight. I'm tired of answering questions about it. He already said millions of times that he not fighting me or looking my way, so I'm just...
However, despite Boots alleging that Crawford didn't want the fight, the pound-for-pound king didn't share that same sentiment.
Yeah, we asked for that fight plenty of times.
When?
Plenty of times.
What's plenty? When?
I've been asking for that fight since 2018. What are you talking about? Since I was a baby.
You been asking to fight me since 2018?
All the top guys. Man.
Cut it.
To understand how we got here, we need to start at the beginning. Long before the world titles, long before the pound-for-pound discussions, long before Xander Zayas or even Terence Crawford had entered the picture. Back then, Jaron "Boots" Ennis was just a 21-year-old prospect from Philadelphia.
Nice. Right off, Boot. Right off. That's good.
Carrying a famous boxing name and an even bigger reputation. The talent was obvious. The question was whether he could live up to the hype.
Harder to figure out.
You definitely have technical skills, but you seem to enjoy standing in the middle of the ring and exchanging. Is that your preferred style? How would you describe your style?
My style is everything. A party pack. I got everything. I can box. I can move. I can sit there if I want to. Defense. Speed. Power. I got everything.
Opponents rarely lasted long against Ennis. And while some said it's an impressive display of his quality, others said it's time for Boots to take a step up, claiming that this level of competition wasn't going to prepare him for the highest level.
His defense is tight.
Yes! I said the same thing after the fight. I said, unfortunately for him, those prime years of development, 23, 24, 25, 26, he was supposed to be fighting, if not the Keith Thurmans and the Yordenis Ugases, even the Sean Porters. Not his fault, the business F's over certain fighters.
And so, when Boots did finally lay claim to a world title, he was revered, not so much based on his track record, but because his raw talent lights up social media the day after.
How about that nifty move?
He's having a good time in there. He's got the goods. There's no question about it.
He's got the instincts and the speed, yeah.
If you're a fight fan, really quickly, I want to introduce you to Pro Boxing Training. Pro Boxing Training is a powerful, all-in-one training app designed for serious fighters. If you're a beginner, you can learn, drill, and introduce new techniques with real structure. If you're a competitor, you can follow elite programming to become more versatile and defensively responsible. You can select from dozens of your favourite world champions and add their signature attacks, combos, and footwork patterns into your own arsenal. New fighter workouts are released every Monday. Become a more versatile fighter today. Download Pro Boxing Training and dominate the opposition. But it's not a new story when you look at the history of boxing.
Who comes to mind? Demetrius Andrade.
Yeah.
Another guy whose talent beyond your dreams, but it got dry because of inactivity and because of the business getting in the way.
By the time Demetrius Andrade had stepped up, he was 35 years of age and not equipped to handle Benavidez. And so, Boots perhaps toes that same line. Long overdue for a test that can either make or break him.
It's full of guys like Demetrius Andrade, who say much the same thing earlier in their career and have had problems getting guys in the ring that they want to face. That could be a hurdle for you, being as notable as you are already and not having pay-per-view status just yet.
This is where Errol Spence and Terence Crawford come into the picture. The consensus best at welterweight, fighting at the highest level and holding on to the throne that Boots ever so craves. Undisputed.
They open for the knockout.
You consider one more difficult for you than the other?
No, they both great fighters. I don't feel like they're not difficult at all. But they both great fighters. I take my head out to them. Respect to them. I can't wait to fight both of them.
But since then, Spence has been inactive. The closest Boots has come to Crawford has been a phone call. And although Boots stepped up to spar an all-time great in Canelo, summer of last year, the details of that sparring session remain unknown to us the fans. And so, to this day, Boots' best on-record opponents have been the likes of Colombia's Roman Villa, who he brutally stopped in the 10th round, a tough Armenian and common Terence Crawford opponent in David Avanesian, and a unification fight against Amantis Stanionis, which up until now is probably his best win, and has him bordering on the edge of the pound-for-pound top 10.
He has cracked that top 10 pound-for-pound list. I'm sorry, with this unification bout and that level of performance, I'm going to have to...
And after moving up and looking destructive in his debut at 154 pounds, it seemed Boots was on track to settle a long-standing rivalry with fellow young star Virgil Ortiz.
I think this is a genuine coin flip fight, I really do. And I think we have to remember that Virgil Ortiz has fought the much better competition.
That's true. But it was too good to be true. And so after a contract dispute with his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, Virgil was out and Zayas was in.
Getting ready for my next fight. And I want to wish a happy 28th to my favorite prostate. I'm going to write history one more time. That's what it's all about. That's what you're in the sport of boxing for. It's easy to just get complacent and just fight old names or old guys that were champion 3-4 years ago, or just fight an easy fight that you know you could win and get easy money. But when everything is on the line, when a lot of people is doubting you, that's when the stakes are high. That's when you got to perform, and that's where I perform at my best.
Man, I'm here to chase legacy. I've always said it. I want to be the best in boxing. I want to be the best in my division, in every division that I touch. And this is the way to do it. Fighting the best, beating the best.
And despite Boots' reputation, Zayas doesn't seem all too phased.
Some may say Boots has been avoided. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't know where it comes from. He's a good fighter. But I don't know where it comes that he's been avoided. Again, he's a good fighter. He's a unified world champion at 147. Those are facts. But I feel like people that he has fought have been tailor-made for his style and what he does and what he brings to the table.
He's always had it his way. He's always, had fighters that put up a little bit of a fight and then they quit.
Zayas is fighting for the pride of his home country, Puerto Rico, as he looks to join a long history of legends that have repped the flag.
Miguel Cotto, Trinidad, so many others. There's a pride there.
We are very united people. We're fighters. We love to represent Puerto Rico at the highest level at anything we do.
For a while, he was considered one of the top prospects coming out of Top Rank.
Oh, he went downstairs there. Body shot clearly affected Slava. And now a lot of time to work with for Xander Zayas. Swept across that body with the left hand, and now Zayas is looking to close the show. Another body shot comes in. That is it, Xander Zayas.
And after outclassing Jorge Perez in July of last year, he laid claim as WBO champion in the 154-pound division, and was game enough to turn around in his next fight and unify with fellow champion Abbas Barral.
And the crowd coming alive. The combinations from Zayas are flying.
And here we are.
Touch him. That's the closest you're gonna get to them. Touch him. Touch him all you want. That's the closest you're gonna get to them.
I'm gonna cook you bad.
You look upset.
Make sure you ready. I'm having fun, baby.
I'm having fun.
Is you ready though?
I'm always
Is you ready?
I'm always ready. I've been ready my whole life. I've been ready my whole life.
I ain't gonna miss.
You're small, man.
You're small.
Yeah.
You small.
Small.
You're a baby. I'm gonna show you.
I'm not playing.
All right. I'm not playing. Oh, I'm supposed to be scared.
I'm not playing.
All right. You don't gotta be June 27th.
June 27th.
We'll see June 27th.
June 27th is the date. On one side stands Jaron Boots Ennis, a fighter who has spent years searching for the defining challenge that could elevate him to the next level. On the other stands Xander Zayas, younger, hungry, undefeated, a rising champion with ambition to becoming the next face of the sport in Puerto Rican boxing. When Jaron Ennis and Xander Zayas finally step into the ring, only one thing is certain. One fighter will leave with his momentum intact. The other will leave with questions to answer. But that's what makes boxing special. Dreams can become reality, and reputations can change forever. This is the fight that changes everything. By the end of the night, we'll know whether this was simply another step in Boots' journey, or the night Xander Zayas changed the course of his own.